Army Chief of Staff, Collins. All the way from Washington. I think I know why.
Fella, if you're so goddamn smart, you tell us what's going on.
You really want to know?
Oh, I'm still learning. Tell me.
Kid, you hire a spy, just like the North Koreans.
And what does your spy tell you now?
Well, he tells me that Admiral Sherman could be carrying a letter authorizing him to fire one General Douglas MacArthur.
Operation Chromite, gentlemen, revolves around Seoul, the capital of South Korea, and most important, Inchon, its port. All in enemy hands for the past 2 months, like the rest of the country, except for the tip of the peninsula, where we still hold this small area around Busan. Busan, I repeat, and not Dunkirk, as most of the newspapers would like us to believe, because General MacArthur has no intention of being defeated, nor is there any question of a withdrawal. Now, that's the rough part. But in the past 2 weeks, our defenses in the Busan perimeter have been strengthened almost every day. And as you can see, the area we still hold is not very large. It has succeeded in drawing the North Koreans a hell of a way from home with long supply lines, all concentrated here in Seoul, which controls all the road and rail communications between North and South Korea. Now picture Inchon and Seoul as an anvil upon which a hammer will strike. The hammer of our 8th Army, breaking out from Busan, pushing up to the north, and joining with our forces in and around Seoul, cutting off and destroying 100,000 enemy soldiers. Now you have the folder of Operation Chromite in front of you, and you're at liberty to open them.
General Allman, the Joint Chiefs of Staff have asked me to voice our objections. First, we think September 15th is too soon.
The Navy has insisted on a water depth of 26 to 32 feet for the landing. We have it that day, maximum high tide.
High tide also occurs on October 11th and November 3rd. We should wait till then.
There is danger of monsoons in the Yellow Sea after October 1st.
The Marines have to land in Inchon Harbor itself. The sea walls are 20 feet high. If we don't complete in 1 hour, our ships will be high and dry on the mud flats, which run out for 3 miles.
We will complete in time. Schedule on page 7.
Inchon is so far from the 8th Army in Busan. It's a hell of a long way to fight back.
After we take Inchon and then Seoul, the enemy will have to retreat in order to protect its lines of communication, which General MacArthur intends to cut off. One bold, supreme stroke. Here in Inchon. I've already given you the details. The date of the operation is September 15th. Admiral Doyle, you want to say something?
Quite apart from the date. Well, I couldn't take my fleet. And you're talking about more than 250 ships in the dark, down narrow sea lanes in Inchon Harbor, which is certainly mined. Impossible, General. Impossible.
I can't let my Marines go in there. Knowing they must hold the entrances in the islands with no means of evacuation, it would be suicide.
I don't know why the President bothered to send us.
Doesn't look as if I need any letter of authority, that's for sure.
My objections don't mean much. If the Navy and the Marine Corps aren't going forward, I don't think there's any reason for any further discussion. Therefore...
But I think there is, General.
Admiral Doyle is right when he says the invasion of Inchon is impossible. It is. Utterly impossible. And that is why it is going to succeed. Nobody in their right minds would ever dream of an invasion of Inchon. And nobody in his right mind would ever set up any serious defenses. I suppose that must be why, as of last night, there were only 4,084 North Koreans from their 112th Division guarding the entire Inchon area. That was the report on the defending forces as of last night. But 12 minutes ago, I received a signal from the British Navy submarine Trident, where she lies submerged in Inchon Harbor, reporting that no mines have been laid. Of course, I cannot guarantee what may have happened in these last 12 minutes. I may also say at this time that the British Navy has offered to escort any landing forces that may be necessary. They will also supply us with landing forces of Marines to go in with our Korean allies, should this be necessary. That is correct, Admiral Lawson.
Yes, General, that is correct.
And the Turkish brigade under Brigadier Kemal here have volunteered...
General, I never said we wouldn't go.
I have not finished. Now that we have established that the Marines will land at first light September 15, we know they will hold the necessary positions until the rest of the 10th Corps can land on the high tide that evening, so that Inchon and then the capital city of Seoul will be recaptured in a matter of days, and the whole invading army of North Koreans will be cut off. This, I promise you, will happen. For right is on our side, and right is with God, and he will not let us fail. I can almost hear the ticking of the second hand of destiny. We must act now, or we will die. Inchon will succeed, and it will save 100,000 lives. The reason we need all of these ships is we have to land the whole of the 10th Corps in just 1 hour. The high tide in these waters lasts 1 hour.
It's just possible that'll be enough time. But if the Marines don't take the protecting islands in the dawn attack, you obviously can't go ahead with the main invasion at dusk.
Mm-hmm. To get the Marines into position, we'll have to sail through here by night. So the lighthouses there, and especially this one, will have to be in operation.
2 ships colliding in the dark. The whole entrance would be blocked. We'd be sitting ducks.
I have to tell you, General, I didn't sleep last night, and I'm still worried stiff right now. I'm sold on the landing. Any landing that'll take the pressure off our forces out of the Pusan area. But I strongly propose Kunsan. Here, instead of Inchon, which has every known difficulty for a landing. Kunsan has no tide problem. It's got a convenient harbor, it's on the same side as Inchon, and it's not half as dangerous.
My friend, you've been looking at the map, but you've not been reading what it says. Kunsan, sure, easy to take with good reason. It has no decisive influence on the war. We still have to drive the communists from the Pusan area all the way to North Korea, yard by yard, mile by mile, may take months, with thousands of casualties. We land at Inchon, we take Seoul. Seoul, the hub of all North and South communications. Here, I shall crush them.